Hi everybody, it's Kimberly. Welcome back to the Twin Flame family. And I have your energy update for Collective Twin Flames for the week of June 18th. I want to let you know also that this is for anyone along the Ascension journey who's stumbling upon this channel. And I will start tagging and labeling the videos a little bit differently as we roll into July, especially with some of the soul coaching series that I'm going to be doing. I'm doing a self-mastery series in July, and I'm looking to broaden the audience a little bit. So Twin Flames, stay with me. Anyone else who's stumbling upon the channel, come on in. I feel as though the messages are for anyone who's ascending or looking for guidance along the ascension path, or is coming into their powers and coming into their knowing, or maybe got cracked open through a heartache in a soul relationship and is now looking to deepen their spiritual understanding, their self-healing, and all of that. And I work with Twin Flames and everyone to give you the Ascension tools to help you clear blocks and help you move forward along your path in a very joyful way. And if you want to book a reading or soul coaching session with me, you can do that on the twinflamefamily.com. It's the twinflamefamily.com. Stella's leaving, my little Stella. And you can see I'm the crazy cat lady today. So just click on schedule a session. And one more quick announcement is this week on June 22nd, it's Thursday in the early evening, I'm holding another free support group call for Twin Flames. It's free. Anyone can join in. Just email me if you want the information. You can type in inquiry right on the website, and I'll send you the call-in info. Those of you already on my subscriber list, you already got the information, but don't forget, it's this Friday, I believe it's this Thursday, June 22nd at 5:30 p.m. Eastern Standard Time, and it's just a way for Twin Flames or anyone in this journey who's confused or is just looking for support or feels alone, which I hear so often, to connect with others in the community so that we can sort of compare notes, support one another. And I'm on the phone as well, helping to guide the call and chiming in with intuitive messages. So I look forward to connecting with you all then. And let's move right into the reading for this week, okay? So lots of good messages here. I have goosebumps saying that. Whew, head to toe. So, okay. I'm going to start with the masculine, okay? So, masculine, divine masculine, I feel, so he's moving towards the feminine, okay? But he's doing it a little bit impulsively, okay? And there's a bit of like coming in and pulling away. I feel like he's not ready and he knows it, but he's still going to try to stay attached, okay? And this is part of his not wanting to face himself, not wanting to work on himself, because he's traveling towards her right now. If you want to see what this looks like on my, actually it would look like this. Okay, this is the feminine, okay? So the the Three Cups coming up. And this is the shared energy, and this is the masculine. So he is traveling towards her, and she's kind of doing her own thing over here, okay? And the energy is pointing to getting with other divine feminine, coming together with other divine feminine energies, and I feel this in a huge way. We're going to talk more about this, but see how he's moving towards her. She's doing her own thing, and she's really connecting into her divine feminine power. We'll talk about this in a moment, but going back to the masculine, it's like he doesn't want to let go of her, even though he needs to. So like you may be in a separation and he may still be like contacting you, or he may just come out of the woodwork again, or he may be in a karmic relationship, but like latching back onto you, or he may just reappear. Like I just feel like there's going to be like sudden contact or sudden. But I guess the message is like, keep yourself grounded, feminine, because stay rooted where you are. Like the root chakra came up at the bottom of the deck for the divine feminine. And it's saying like, this is your time to stay grounded. Don't waver off your track, because he's being a little impulsive. And I think these are good signs, okay? But it's also like, we know that the divine masculine still has stuff to do before he would be ready for this. And he's kind of like wants to skip that step, I think, for many of the masculine. And it's just really not wanting to look fully at himself just yet. And just thinking, well, we can just skip over this or just get right past this. And it's not going to be that easy. He's got work to do and things to face. And that will come clear to him in the next like month and a half or so, leading up to the lunar eclipse in August. So, and I think more illumination for action will come. I don't feel like true action will come, like him aligning with his authentic truth, knowing what he needs to work on and knowing what he needs to do until about August timeframe. Right now, it feels like, oh, I'm going to stay in the karmic relationship, but I'm still going to reach out to you, or I'm still going to latch here onto you, or, oh, we're going to go into separation, but I'm just going to keep calling you and I'm going to stay attached to you, but I love you. But why can't we just get past this? It's very like nonchalant. Like he feels like why can't we just get past this? And the divine feminine's going, you can't shove this shit under a rug. This is like, you need to go do your healing. So, I feel like she's a bit on guard. Okay. And, he is too, because he doesn't want to be rejected in this action that he's taking. Okay. And so there's that fear there. It's like, oh, he doesn't want to be pushed away, but she's just sort of like setting the healthy boundary for herself and staying in her own and staying grounded. So for the feminine, like I said, it's all about connecting with other powerful divine feminine energy. And if you even just had an inkling to do this, do it. Find a class, meet with friends. And these might not be the old friendships. These might not be your like childhood friends. These might be new, powerful women, influential women, role model type women. These could be people who will help you, who will open doors, who will teach you, who can serve as divine feminine, like I said, role models. And you will admire them and you'll enjoy their high vibrational energy. And it's time to come together with them so that we can help pull each other up. And this is happening, I think, across the board for all the divine feminine in the collective. There's either this desire to connect to that, or it's already happening, like you're being pulled into it. You maybe get a visit. Like I had a reading, someone's aunt was coming. Actually, I've had two, like someone's aunt, someone's grandmother. And these are people that are role models for them. They're coming to visit. They're going to be around you. You're going to share their energy. Good. Okay, that's great, because those are, whenever we admire someone or we feel like enamored or in admiration with another divine feminine, that's us remembering our true selves. Okay, that's us connecting back to our own divinity and what we admire in that person, in their strength and their confidence and their ability to nurture, in their wisdom and their awesomeness and fabulousness. All of that is us remembering who we are, and it's calling us to step back into that. It's like a little glimmer of boop, boop. But oftentimes we look at it like, oh, they're so amazing, and we go back into our insecurities. But that's not what we're being called to do. We're being called to like venture out of our comfort zone, connect with these people and really observe them, admire them, send them love, and then figure out how can we step more fully into these qualities and embrace them and, you know, start to reclaim the things that we may have forgotten, these qualities that we may have forgotten, whether it be through lifetimes or since early childhood. This is a time to gather with other divine feminine. It's going to feel really good. This could be family. This could be new friends. This could be, like I said, influential women or like a role model of some sort in a class setting. Anyway, they're saying this is very good, and it will help you stay connected to yourself and help you stay grounded when this action moves in or as this action is moving in. So underneath the situation for the feminine is the trees are coming up, okay? And this is all about rooted, staying rooted, and the root chakra card came up, kind of flew out at the bottom of the deck, of the angel therapy deck. And it's like, this is all about staying rooted, wisdom, inner knowing, calm strength, quiet strength, and connection to nature, right? They're saying you're so all-knowing. We need to get out of our headspace and connect into nature where we can receive all those messages. But this is also a metaphor for you standing in your truth, you standing in your power, rooted to the ground, reaching up to the heavens to receive the messages, wisdom branching out from all around you. It's just, I love the trees. And it's interesting because for the divine feminine, and I'll get back to the masculine, but I did pull a sacred feminine card, and what beautiful, beautiful synergy there is here. 13 came up, who's the grandmother spider, the weaver. Okay, love this. And she's all about wisdom and weaving the web of your own life. So let me read you quickly what her message is for you, for the divine feminine. Through your life experiences up until this moment, you have acquired wisdom and knowledge. Grandmother Spider is asking you to witness all that you have achieved and learned, and to make careful, steady plans for the next path you will travel. Through wisdom gained, you will not need to make the same mistakes again. So remember that. Even if we mess up or we stumble a little bit, you're still expanding. And we also have to remind ourselves that we already have the wisdom. We already have the experience. We're not going to go back there and do that again, right? We're constantly moving forward, even if we stumble a little bit. So she says, tap into the wisdom and begin to weave your life the way you wished it to be experienced. It is time now to stop being an unconscious creator and instead to consciously create and manifest that which you desire with wisdom and mindfulness. It may also mean that you're moving into the stage of the wise elder, wise one, or like the wise woman, as we call it in the divine feminine archetypes, or that you are being called upon to offer your wisdom to another. Grandmother Spider might also be asking you to take a higher perspective on a specific issue and see the bigger picture and web as it is weaved over time. I think that's particularly interesting, especially for the feminine that I've been counseling recently, because there has been a little bit of this going back to a 3D focus. And I think what Grandmother Spider is reminding us is to lift out and see if we look back at our whole life, and for divine feminine, divine masculine, and we always say hindsight's 20/20, and you look back and you go, oh, see, this happened because of that, or I was led there because of this, but we don't often know until several months or years or decades later why that played out the way it did. And I think we have to remember to have the same type of trust and foresight, right, where we can lift up. And I think, going high up into your tree, think about that analogy, right? Not only are you rooted into the ground, but your branches are tall. You can look over everything and see at the whole perspective, see the bigger picture here. And this is saying trust in your separations, trust in the timing, trust in all of that, and know that everything, all the time that you're being given, any heartache that's been placed in your hands, it's all a gift. And it's up to you to turn that into something beautiful. And don't wait, I think, especially for the feminine, don't wait to get on your mission. Because if you find yourself with time on your hands, and we're having conversations about, you not totally being in your feminine power, this is the time to start doing the things you love, or feeding those urges that have been calling to you. Because by doing that, connecting with your creative energy, connecting with your spiritual gifts, you're going to get on this high-flying disc. You're going to be pulling in all the beautiful people and experiences that align with this mission and with all your joyful feelings, rather than all the low vibrational stuff and feeling stuck. So I really feel upward momentum for the feminine, but she's grounded. So think of that. And especially those of you who've kind of gone back to the 3D stuff, like, I was doing so good, but now I feel so Why is he torturing me? Or why is, and you're going back to the external focus. Remember, go back to yourself. Go back. Keep redirecting to yourself. What do you want to do? What do you want to accomplish? Can you connect with other divine feminine women who will raise you up? This, sometimes we don't have to know exactly what it is that we're going to do. Like this says, carve out your path with, clear intention and be a conscious creator. And that's great. But conscious creation can just be like, I want to be happy every day. And, I'm really open to making new friends who are high vibrational, and then just putting it out there and not blocking it. And then just being like in your joy space, doing things you love, meeting those people that you're calling forth. And then that will lead and guide you. It doesn't always have to be like, okay, I'm going to sit down and map out my big master plan, because guess what? When we do that, we're trying to control things anyhow. So underneath this, the bottom of the deck of the tarot deck is the Five of Wands. And this is still very much about, I feel like for the masculine, it's like he's kind of getting jealous, thinking about the feminine being with other men or other like dating or not. He's getting jealous right now, okay? And for the feminine, this is a bit about comparison thinking, like comparing herself to the masculine's karmic relationship, or insecurities, why she's competing with others and not putting all the self-value on herself. So for the feminine, I have to say, go back to your values, go back to self-love. Remember why you are unique and why you love yourself, and it will pull yourself out of that comparison thinking energy, and out of that, those low vibrational insecurities. And for the masculine, the jealousy thing, this, again, it's something within you, masculine, and they're calling you to look at this at a deeper level. This is really a big eye-opener for the divine masculine. And any of the divine masculine that are watching this reading, this is something that I feel you're a bit bound to. And it's a form of manipulation. It's a form of control, whether it's accusations or jealousy. And I think it's it's still rooted in insecurity as well. But I think for the masculine, he really needs to understand and to remember that slow and steady wins the race, and that going back to your core values and going back to your morals is what is going to win over the feminine, not haste and impulse and holding on and latching on and trying to control. Because I feel very much the masculine is trying to control right now, and it's going to backfire. So masculine, you need to try to slip out of this. And coming up above the masculine is the third eye chakra. And we often see this for the feminine, saying, oh, and this is coming up, clairvoyancy for the feminine. You're powerfully clairvoyant, which we know. Feminine, you're powerfully everything. But masculine, so are you. And the masculine really needs to trust in some of that inner knowing and inner feminine energy, while he balances his masculine to not manipulate, not control, not come in with force, and just go into the third eye space where the true messages are. And I think part of how this is blocked for both the divine feminine, divine masculine, is because of the heart chakra being blocked. And this is coming up underneath for both energies. And so it's saying, let's again put our focus on clearing out the armor around our hearts. It's time to open that up. And through opening that does not mean that we have to throw ourselves back into vulnerable situations with our twin flames when it's not time yet. It just means you're opening your heart to love with everybody, to love your twin flame, get rid of the hatred or rid of the things that are keeping you very in your ego or very separate even from a mental standpoint, and get back into the heart space, get out of your head, get back into the heart space and open things up. because that's going to also help you root back into your third eye and into your solar plexus, into your intuitive center, and receive the messages, the real messages, the soul level connection, the truth at the higher dimension. Because analyzing what's happening on the 3D, like him analyzing her and, you know, this feeling of insecurity and competing with others and jealousy, it's like all of that is very, very toxic for us. And the longer we stay there, the more we're going to spiral into that. So be sure that we cleanse that and we go into the higher vibrational space where we're receiving the true messages, okay? Not just this external focus. Yeah, so under the masculine, where we had trees for the feminine, we have monk or nun, which is past life stuff. It's also like just him starting to break his attachment to these, like maybe the way he was brought up or these conservative schools of thought. He's starting to really understand that he's not bound to anything. And part of this is like that breaking away energy, but he's just doing it a little too soon or a little too impulsively. But he's starting to realize he's not bound to this religion. He's not bound to these beliefs anymore. And he's not bound to a life of unhappiness. He's not bound to anything, right? And so this is a little bit like, feels like freedom, like he's like getting a sense of freedom coming in, and he's getting a little too like cocky about it, you know, so it's happening a little bit impulsively. Like I said, the shared energy is this just being on guard, and this again is related to what's underneath, which is the heart chakra. So they're saying, get rid of that armor, let down the armor. We see this often for the twin flames, and we haven't seen it in a while, but he comes up often, okay? And it's just like, I mean, this is exactly, Nine of Wands is like protecting our heart, trying to protect ourselves, you know, trying to control the situation when we can't. The only option we have is to love and to go into love. And that's how everything opens up. Couple things also. So I pulled a couple of advice cards for the masculine and feminine. And for the feminine, they're saying, let it go. And that's Kuan Yin. And she's always here to say, like, she's saying, let go of the control. Like, let it go, let it flow. And she came in a few weeks ago, too, and I was talking about flowing. And this is very much like, let go of your 3D attachment, feminine. Why are you going back there? It's time to go up, back into ourselves and back into the higher dimension, the fifth dimension. Remember what I said about climbing to the top of that tree or reaching your branches out and looking over everything. Time to let go of the 3D attachment, because for some reason she's, you know, we're still expanding, feminine, but you're having a little hiccup of going back to getting stuck on it. So just let that go. Go back into your wise woman, your divine feminine power, and yeah, and it's time to do that. Masculine, interestingly enough, Merlin's coming up for energy healing. And I actually feel like it's not just the masculine going to an energy healer or seeking out energy healing, but it's actually him recognizing that he has the power to do this type of healing. I think many of the masculine are starting to use their hands now in different ways, okay? In a work sense and in a more spiritual sense. They're showing me Reiki, massage, it's him coming into his power in a new way. And I feel like it is through the hands. So, if any of you, if this resonates for any of you, I feel it very much for the masculine. And he's got there's some wizard energy coming in. He's realizing that he can create things that he hasn't been able to. He's been like kind of stuck under a rock for a while, or feeling like that, like bound to the old beliefs, bound to the old way of life, or bound to the unhappiness. And now it's like this, oh, I can do this. Like it's manifestation for the masculine. It's also him grabbing the reins. Okay. But like I said, it's like a little too impulsive with that, a little bit knee jerk. So there's a little bit of haste, but he will harness this power. And this, you'll see this more in the coming months. And I feel like it's even more so around the solar eclipse later in August, that we'll see more of this from the masculine. And it could be him getting into like a healing profession, or it could be coming in contact and having contact with hands, right? Where you're holding hands, or you're massaging, or someone's administering Reiki or something like that. But it's also very metaphoric for the masculine, where he's coming into this recognition of his own wizardry, his own power, his own magic. Okay. He has the magic too. Because feminine, you're not the only one who could be a powerful manifester. It's just like I said, he's kind of held himself under the rock for a while, and the coming out of this now, or starting to come out of it, feels really good. But because his ego is still all in play here, it's not going to be as like spiritually focused for him. It's going to be very much like not abusing the power, but something like that, where he's not totally harnessing it yet. So it'll be a bit hasty, and but that'll take a little while, and he'll come into it. And again, it's coming into his third eye. And I feel like this is very connected to the masculine's inner divine feminine and balancing those energies. Because right now he's balancing both. Getting in his truth, getting in his, trusting his intuition, the power of healing and magic and wizardry and all of his powers. And then also that him coming into that is going to help balance his masculine side. So he's not as impulsive. He's not as reactive. He's not as manipulative. He's not trying to control things when he harnesses this power right here. Okay. And some of this haste too is showing up, Page of Cups in reverse. And like, this is just, for me, it's just, it feels like emotional immaturity still. Okay. And I feel like the feminine's being called into her wisdom and to her knowledge and to review her life experience. And the masculine's being called into his higher power so that he can pull out of the ego and some of this naivety, ignorance, or just like ego-based action to get into more truth-based action. Yeah, so I will leave it at that. I hope that was helpful for some of you, and I'll be back again next week with another reading, and I hope to connect with you on the free support group call on June 22nd. So have a wonderful week. Okay, bye everybody.